Meanwhile, switching gears just a little bit to talk about a topic that a lot of families might deal with. Picky eating is something generally most kids grow out of, but for some it's much more than just avoiding a few foods, okay? Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder, or ARFID, can cause real challenges for a child's health, growth, social life, right? So today we are joined by Jenna Lee Hamilton from Huntsville Nutrition Collective to help us understand what this is, how it's different from picky eating, and what parents can do if they notice the signs. Jenna Lee, thank you so much for being here, and it's an important conversation that I know a lot of families are going to benefit from. First though, I want to start because I'm sure when I initially started talking about this, I feel like walls may kind of initially have gone up of parents saying, my child's fine, you know, we live in a world of overdiagnosis, my kid doesn't have an eating disorder, what have you. But science has backed, again, new research has shown that this actually can be more of a problem. So let's first chat again what this condition is and how it differs from, again, just standard normal child behavior of I don't like broccoli per se.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having us. So ARFID, Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder, it is actually a mental health diagnosis, you know, defined by the DSM-5 that is characterized by extremely limited food choices, all the way from, you know, specific brands of food or maybe certain amounts of food that feel safe. Someone with ARFID might have like really hypersensitivity to certain textures or tastes of foods. They may have had a bad experience with a food in the past, and so they want to avoid having it again, or they may just have a lack of appetite altogether. It's really different from picky eating in that picky eating is often a normal part of the developmental process, right? And so we grow out of it. We still have a large range of foods. Maybe that's not my favorite food, but like I can handle being around it. Whereas ARFID is very much an extreme aversion. They may even want to be able to participate, but like their body truly has like an aversion or a fear to it.
Interesting. And is this predominantly in children, or can anyone of any age develop this disorder?
So it can, it normally shows up in childhood. And unlike picky eating, which often resolves itself throughout life, ARFID doesn't really resolve itself unless you get some sort of treatment, and so it can go on into adulthood. And with your point with saying, you know, we don't want to overdiagnose, blah, blah, blah. It never hurts. A lot of pediatricians aren't looking for it yet. Some are, but it's a relatively new diagnosis. It never hurts to get assessed if you suspect your child may have a little bit more than picky eating, because there's help for picky eating too. Like we do all of that at Huntsville Nutrition Collective.
I'm curious too what those methods do kind of look like. Is it kind of an exposure therapy? How do you, what does the process look like in the chance, okay, we do think this child has something. What is the process then for hopefully getting them to eat more and different things?
Yeah, okay, so it really depends on the child or the person, the adult. And that's why I love it, because it's really creative and fun to figure out what works for different people. First line of defense, like as dietitians, we want to prevent any nutrition deficiencies, right? So we're going to go over their diet, make sure that they're not deficient in anything. But then from there, we often choose foods that maybe feel important to someone's life. Like, oh, I really want to be able to eat birthday cake, and that, you know, is an aversion for me. So we'll start with foods that feel safe and slowly do some exposure, like changing that food until we eventually reach birthday cake. And we may try to use our other senses around food, like what does it smell like? What does it feel like? How would I describe this food, right? Just practicing being around it, and then we eventually might taste it.
Wow. So amazing how so much of this truly is connected to brain activity, right? I mean, you are training your brain. And so with that too, I do want to assuage parents, because I do think sometimes a lot of guilt can be placed on that, you know, your child's not eating, or you're not just forcing him to eat enough, you're not training him to eat his vegetables, what have you. I think about my own family. I didn't eat a lot growing up. I liked a lot of foods. I wasn't picky about what I had, but I would get very full very easily. And I think my parents were a little concerned. Other parents were like, she doesn't eat that much. I turned out fine, hopefully, you know, praise the Lord. But all that to be said, anything you can kind of just say, just on this topic, it feeling kind of taboo, or parents just struggling, you know, am I a bad parent, right, if my child's not eating enough?
Yeah, no, it's not anyone's fault. Nobody causes ARFID. A lot of times it'll be, we see it a lot in neurodivergent populations,
Okay.
Maybe ADHD or autism, but it can affect anyone. And it can happen as early as birth, trouble latching and things like that. But it's certainly no one's fault. No one caused it, but there is help available.
Yes.
And you don't have to go through it by yourself. I personally, as a dietitian, have seen it more than I ever realized now that I've gotten into it. And it's actually a lot more common, and I'm thankful we have names for it now.
So grateful for it, and grateful for the work that you and your team do generally. So with that too, we do want to stress, if you're thinking that this might be impacting your family in any kind of way, book a consultation. Generally, we want to wrap with you. Tell us one more time again where you guys are, what that initial process might look like, and where we can go for more help.
Yeah, so we're Huntsville Nutrition Collective, and our office is downtown Huntsville. We're in the same building as Domain South. You can reach out at info@huntsvillenutritioncollective.com. And we have several amazing dietitians on our team, and so we would be so thrilled to work with y'all.
Wonderful. Generally, thank you for what you're doing. We know that it's a work, as we said, for a condition that is really common, so you're impacting a lot of families. Thank you so much. Hope this is not our last conversation. We'll have to be back again soon.
Yeah,
Thanks, girl.
thanks.